What's up, everyone? Gabe Ame, Hawaii VA Loans. This week's 3-Minute Thursday segment, I'm flying solo, and I got 3 minutes to teach you a little bit of something. So today we're going to talk about something that's very important to home buyers, is reducing their closing costs. So I got 3 tips to reduce your closing costs on your next purchase transaction. Tip number 1. So easiest way to save money in closing costs is request a seller credit. What's a seller credit? It's just like how it sounds. It's a credit from the seller to help cover your closing costs. This is something that you can always request when you put in an offer. There's no guarantee that they're going to give you the seller credit, but it's something that if, for instance, they had the house on the market for a long period of time, they may be more willing to give you the seller credit. So on a $500,000 purchase, you request a 1% seller credit. That's $5,000 that can help you cover your closing costs. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, close at the end of the month versus the beginning or the middle of the month. And the reason for this is on every purchase transaction, you have to pay what is called prepaid interest. Prepaid interest is a prorated amount of interest for the remaining days of the month after you fund your loan. So for instance, if you, again, $500,000 purchase price, let's say an interest rate at 4.5%, the difference between closing at the middle of the month versus the end of the month is about $1,000 in closing costs. So again, if you can structure your contract to close at the end of the month, you can save some money there. The last tip here is when you lock in your interest rate, lock in your rate with a yield spread premium. What's a yield spread premium? Well, let's start with when you lock in a rate and you want to get the lowest rate possible, you have to pay what is called a discount point to buy down your interest rate. Basically, you're prepaying upfront to get a lower interest rate and lower payments going forward. Now, the opposite of that is you can request to have a higher interest rate, a higher payment, and you can also get what is called a yield spread premium or a rebate from your lender to help cover your closing costs. So if you're okay with getting a higher rate, higher payment, you can get some money back from the lender to help cover your closing costs. So between a seller credit, closing at the end of the month, reducing your prepaid interest, and locking your rate at a yield spread premium, those are 3 tips that can help you save money on your closing costs. So that's 3-Minute Thursday. Hope you learned something. See you again next week.